If that doesn't give you a Casey Stoner, I don't know what will. Guys, I'm just out in the mountains with the new Aprilia Tuono 660. Have a look at this thing. Could that be any more in your face if they tried? Those red wheels are standard on all three colour schemes. But personally, I commend any bike maker willing to take a risk like that. Like, love it or loathe it, it's a choice. So yeah, I think that's great. Life's too futile and short for boring motorcycles, so let's ride. I remember about 6 months ago I was on the launch of the RS660, the first bike built on this new 660 platform, and I said then, knowing that this Tuono 660 was going to follow it, that bike would work better as a naked bike. The RS660 I felt sort of had a case of mistaken identity, or in other words, it didn't neatly fit into a category, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's cool to do new things and it's brave to do new things, but I just feel that this platform's ability is better suited to the naked bike configuration. What I didn't know at the time was that the Tuono 660 isn't just the RS660 with less bodywork and upright bars. There are some changes. I think the most important of those changes is it has a shorter final drive, and so that makes it a lot more responsive off the bottom. You don't have to be up around the red line to be getting the most out of the motorcycle, which is something I personally appreciate for the style of riding I do. If you were going to the track all the time, might be a different story. I really love this motor. I think it's sort of the real sweet spot in terms of power and torque output. It's really fast and really lively, but perfectly manageable. It never scares me. So the main changes, I guess, to look at would be different bodywork for the Tuono 660 compared to the RS660, although it's not fully naked, it's sort of semi-naked. It's got quite a lot of wind protection, and of course straight upright bars and lower rear sets. Now it costs $20,230 right away, which is $300 less than the RS660, but you miss out on a few things which I think is worth noting. You don't get an up-down quickshifter as standard. That's an accessory in this case. You also don't get cornering ABS as standard, and you have a little bit less adjustment on the front Kayaba forks. So you have single stem adjustment rather than dual stem. Who cares, I reckon, but that is something that you might care about if you are really into setting up your bike to your preferences. I don't know if this is a symptom of the shorter final drive gearing, but at slow speeds, like it's really hard to hold steady revs. So I'm in first gear now to accentuate what I mean, but I find myself shifting up gears really early, because particularly in the hotter rider modes, it just wants to take off like that. I think this engine has one of the most marvelous exhaust notes in the category. It's not as simple as this, but you can almost think of it as the Aprilia V4 1100 motor cut in half to be a parallel twin, and it actually sounds and behaves a little bit like a V4, strangely enough. Suspension is beautifully planted, and the twin 320mm Brembo brakes up the front have heaps and heaps and heaps of bite. As I said, massive Brembo brakes and beautiful Kayaba suspension. So you get a lot of premium kit for that money. You might naturally think that its rivals are things like, you know, the MT-07 and the Trident and stuff like that, but that's really not the case. This thing is, in terms of performance, this thing's way more in line with sort of 900 class naked bikes. Think of the BMW F900R, what else? Oh, maybe like the KTM 890 Duke, those kind of bikes. It's really easy to ride in a spirited fashion. Honestly, I know everyone's different, but I just think that this platform works so much better as a naked bike. I feel like I've got enough wind protection, and yet I'm comfortable enough to be able to ride this thing, you know, day in and day out. It certainly doesn't lack power, and it certainly does not lack handling performance. Here's why I love naked sports bikes, right? Like, yeah, okay, it's shocking off-road, but you can take it down a dirt road and just go slowly, like, so you're nowhere near as restricted in, like, you know, what roads you can go down and stuff when you're touring on a naked sports bike, rather than a full-on sports bike where you're all hunched over and, you know, you've got bodywork to worry about, stone chips and stuff like that. So yeah, I've said it a lot of times before, but big proponent of the naked bike, that's for sure. I don't really know what I'm actually doing here. I think I took a wrong turn, but I might find a place to take some photography. And man, what the hell? How does it have so much grip? What? I can't believe that. Must be the traction control allowing just a small amount of slip, so you still get nice acceleration. What do you know? I think this dash does its job well. You can see the speed and revs quite easily, but it's not really as pretty as some of the TFT dashes on other bikes. It's a 4.3 inch system, and it seems like the screens on bikes just keep getting bigger and bigger. I think that'll need to be updated sooner or later, but this platform, this is the Tuono 660 is the second bike following the RS 660 built on this basic 660 platform, but they're also coming out with, Aprilia's also coming out with a Touareg 660 adventure bike, which should, you know, battle the likes of the Yamaha Tenere 700 and such. And I think that thing will be a beauty. I do have some minor complaints about this bike, but overall it's a winner. It's just so dynamic. I honestly came out like I'm in no mood to be riding fast or anything like that, but you just approach a corner and it just goes, too bad, you're coming with me. Not here to fuck spiders. Alright, before I go, let's just take a moment to appreciate this bloody exhaust note. Listen to this. Stoppy.